Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. Reuters reported a story that has now been widely reproduced across the world about how Pakistan's largest oil refinery, previously known as Beko, but now called Sharif, has decided to start importing crude oil from the United States, likely Texas sweet crude. The first shipment will be 1 million barrels. If this turns out to be profitable and successful, they will import 1 million barrels every month. I believe this model will be successful, so if this continues every month, Sharif will import 1 million barrels of crude oil from the United States. Now, this refinery is currently Pakistan's largest publicly listed refinery, although I believe it's a private refinery and it was established in 1995 by Amir Abbasi's father. According to Reuters, their monthly imports total around 43 million barrels. I'm still unclear whether this is Pakistan's total oil import or just the part handled by Sharif, as I couldn't verify that fully. But if this figure holds, then over a year, their import would be around 48 or 49 million barrels. If they import 1 million barrels per month from the US, that would amount to about 12 million barrels per year. This means that 1/4 of Pakistan's total crude imports, about 25%, would come from the United States if this model succeeds. This is significant politically, especially considering Pakistan and America's trade deficit, which was valued at about 12 billion last year. If this model holds, the value of oil imports from the US will be around 3 billion annually. The CEO of Sharif, whose name is either Osama Qureshi or Amir Abbasi, though I think it's Amir Abbasi, had been negotiating with the US since April 2025, especially after the Trump administration imposed a 29% duty on oil imports from Pakistan, while imposing a 26% duty on India. These negotiations with the US and their partner Vital Oil have now concluded. Many believe this deal was finalized after Pakistan's army chief, General Asim Munir, met with Donald Trump in June, a meeting that lasted over 2 hours, during which these matters were likely discussed. This is a political deal, not just an economic one from Pakistan's point of view. For Pakistan, the significance lies in its long history of importing oil from Middle Eastern countries such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE due to proximity and favorable pricing agreements. However, with this shift to the US, one must question how this will affect Pakistan's financial and budgetary implications, as America's approach under Trump is largely mercantile, focused on balancing trade deficits. It remains unclear what the broader economic consequences will be for Pakistan. This shift is part of a broader political strategy under the current Pakistani regime, led by Nawaz Sharif, Asif Ali Zardari, and now General Asim Munir. Their goal has been to maintain good relations with external powers, whether China or the US, and to keep these powers happy. Their key strategy is fulfilling the emotional and political requirements of figures like Donald Trump, which they have studied carefully. Since January or February of this year, the Pakistani government has worked to please Donald Trump, even influencing American businessmen like Gentry Beach, who has connections with Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr. Pakistan has also reportedly been involved in several business deals related to minerals and real estate with American entities. There are rumors of investments linked to Trump's business associates, as well as efforts to revise Pakistan's mining laws to facilitate American interests. Moreover, the country has even recommended Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize as part of this political alignment with his administration. Interestingly, just a few days ago, there was a major conference at the General Headquarters in Rawalpindi for the 98th anniversary of China's People's Liberation Army, where General Asim Munir spoke about the close strategic, cultural and economic ties between Pakistan and China. This shows how Pakistan is balancing its relationship with both the US and China. They provide it. Right now, the regime in Pakistan, Sharif, Zardari and Asim's regime, is working very hard, and you can appreciate that they are doing a great balancing act between China and America. They are walking a fine line. They are taking China along with them and also bringing America along. It wasn't very difficult to take China along because since 1970, over 50 years, Pakistan's relationship with China has strengthened, and Pakistan even opened the door to China. Pakistan played a significant role in this, especially in the context of Cassandra diplomacy and Cassandra access diplomacy. Since then, the Chinese have never had any objection to Pakistan's relationship with the US. They always balanced it. They understood that it was a requirement for Pakistan to have a relationship with the US. The difference that has occurred is that in the past 10 to 12 years, especially since 2012 or 2013, the US put a lot of pressure on Pakistan's foreign ministry and military, asking them to distance themselves from China. Now, with Donald Trump, we see that he has adopted a new stance where the US has somewhat reconciled with the idea that Pakistan will maintain its relationship with China. This is something that, according to an interesting analysis in India's NDTV portal, has become a major challenge for India's foreign policy. The military of Pakistan has made it clear to the Trump administration that it is playing with the U.S. insecurities and fears. They are saying that if we are not treated properly, or if any objections are raised on our country's democracy or internal matters, we may shift more towards China. According to the NDTV analyst, Pakistan's military has effectively played on America's sense of insecurity. It's important to keep in mind that while Pakistan's total bilateral trade is around 73 billion, India's trade in goods alone, without even counting services, is about 140 billion. And when you add their IT exports, it actually goes beyond 200 billion. India has a trade surplus of around 40 billion. This, honestly, makes things quite serious. As for the Trump administration, they're struggling to negotiate space with India's Modi government, which is not giving them the flexibility they might desire. All these developments about the balance between China and America, as I have mentioned, are crucial for understanding. For those who may not understand, I feel that in Pakistan, democracy is not just a word. Democracy means the rule of law, justice, human rights and progress. Democracy means that a person should have the freedom to advance both mentally and materially. Pakistan will not be able to achieve any of this unless the severe hostility and hatred between Pakistan and India, which has always existed, are overcome. If any politicians in Pakistan understand this, then I think credit must go to Nawaz Sharif, who in the 1990s and then again later, understood that if Pakistan was to strengthen its democracy and its civilian government, it would have to reduce hostilities with India. Until Pakistan reduces its hostility with India, no democratic transition can happen. In this context, today, Mrs. Imran Khan made a very intriguing tweet, which you will see at the top of her Twitter handle, where she says that Qasim and Suleiman, the sons of Imran Khan, have applied for a visa at the British High Commission in Pakistan. The ambassador confirmed it and said that they are waiting for approval from Islamabad, that is, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the Ministry of Interior. This is an interesting statement because earlier, Imran Khan had said in a press conference that Qasim and Suleiman didn't need a visa to come to Pakistan because they had NICOP cards, national identity cards for overseas Pakistanis, and they could come freely. After this, I analysed this many times, considering whether they would be allowed to come or stopped at Dubai airport or detained in Pakistan. Now, it is a completely new development that they need a visa. Does this mean that the claim about NICOP cards was incorrect? Did they not have NICOP cards, and were they always travelling on visas? Or is it that their NICOP cards have expired? Or could it be a political strategy that we don't fully understand in the case of Qasim and Suleiman? The current statements from the Pakistani government are contradictory. Some say that, like Irfan Siddiqui, he believes that since it is their country, they should be allowed to come without any issues. Some from PM League, like Rana, also take a similar view. However, Aqil Malik, an advisor on law and justice to Shahbaz Sharif, says that under Article 16 of the Constitution of Pakistan, only Pakistani citizens can participate in political activities in Pakistan. If Qasim or Suleiman come and engage in political activities, they could be arrested or expelled. This is where the situation stands so far. However, the government says that they won't stop Qasim and Suleiman from coming unless they engage excessively in political activities. Now let's quickly look at the situation regarding August 5th. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, various rallies and processions are being held continuously in different cities. In one such rally, held today in Abbottabad, a large crowd gathered. However, there is no clear picture from Punjab regarding the enthusiasm for August 5th. A day earlier, 108 leaders of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, including Omar Ayub from the National Assembly and Shibli Faraz from the Senate, were arrested. The analysis is that this is largely aimed at preventing any significant activity on August 5th. As of now, Arrests haven't happened, at least as of 1 or 2 hours ago. But there is a looming threat that if anyone wants bail or relief from the High Court, they might be advised to avoid being visible on August 5th. On the other hand, sources from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa say that despite arrests or house arrests, people are determined, and on August 5th, large numbers will take to the streets. In terms of Imran Khan's release, August 5th, 2025, will mark 730 days since his arrest on charges related to the Adiala jail. There are continuous media reports about his condition. His son Qasim Khan has given several interviews in which he says that his father's situation in Adiala jail is very critical. Meanwhile, the government claims that his life is at risk, if not removed from there. However, no direct message has come from Imran Khan or his sons regarding this. Quickly, a comment on Trump and China. In the last 24 hours, it has become clear that Trump has issued an executive order. In it, if products from any country arrive in the US without substantial changes in terms of origin and transshipment rules, they will be considered as originating from China. The order does not mention China directly, but it aims to block Chinese goods from entering the US. This is part of Trump's efforts to prevent China's products from entering the US market. As for the situation with Iran, the Iranian Foreign Minister, Abbas Araghchi, gave a significant interview to the Financial Times over the last 24 hours. He said that before any direct nuclear talks with the US the US needs to compensate Iran for the damages caused by its attacks. He also pointed out that the US needs to explain why they conducted the attacks during their sanctions talks with Iran. Russia has supported Iran on this point, stating that the US must guarantee no further attacks on Iran before nuclear talks can restart. This shift in Iran's attitude reflects growing cooperation with Russia and China. Both countries are working to prevent any further aggression against Iran, especially after the August 31st deadline. Iran is seeking guarantees that any future talks with the US will be safer and more reliable. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.